Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you today. I'm glad to have you this Friday evening. I always look forward to having you, and you're always welcome to tune in. My name is Jonan Kandwanaho, and I'm the Managing Director at Jonaki Holdings Limited. And at Jonaki Holdings Limited, we lend money. We lend money very fast, efficient, and integral services. So if you have that bill to clear, or that deal to close, or that business to refinance, we are here to support you. You can always check us out on our website at www.jonakiholdings.com, and you'll be able to get that money. Yes, so we meet here every Friday from 5:30 to 6 p.m. to discuss business, to learn from one another, to learn from each other, to support each other, and to guide each other. Because in Proverbs, the Bible says that iron sharpens iron. If you know something that your friend does not know about, or if you're exposed to something that your colleague doesn't know about, then you get to teach them, because there you'll be creating a line of defense, you'll be enlarging your community, and you'll be growing. For example, if like a Jonaki Holdings Limited, it's not that we do all the services. If you are lending money, somehow the clients have to go through a particular system. For example, we have to install the trackers in the car. So meaning that we shall need a company that does the tracking, that installs the tracker. If we are doing verification on the car logbook to ascertain the authenticity of the logbook, we definitely have to contact URA. So there's another institution in that end to support us in that area. If you need a license, you have to go to Umrah to get a license. So somewhere you cannot do it all. So you have to engage another player. If you have to do valuation of the land, we are not professional valuers. You can come with your beautiful car, and it's so nice, but I can approximate it to be 100 million, and when the value comes, it says, you know what, this car can go for 60 million. Why? Because I am not a professional. I cannot know the value of the car. That's why it's important that we grow our colleagues, that if I've grown, we extend the same thing to our friends, to our colleagues, and then we walk the journey together. So it's important that if you know something, share it with a friend, share it with a colleague, and in a way, you'll be growing yourself. You cannot grow alone. You cannot grow in isolation. So that's why I make time to come here to speak to you guys. And for more on our services, you can always check out our website at www.jonakiholdings.com. Yeah. Great. So today we have a redo of the topic on money lending and the law. As I told you, whether you know the law or you do not know the law will apply on you. The law will apply on you. So your ignorance of the law will not stop, for example, URA from hitting on you. They'll close you up. So your not knowing the law does not insulate you from being affected by the law. If I do not know the law, and I have a company that has been running for 2 or 3 years, and I have not been filing returns, it will not stop URA from knocking at my door. It will not stop URA from closing me up, just because I do not know the law. If I do not know the law, and I drive in a one-way lane, in an anti-clockwise way, counter way, it will not stop the police from stopping me and giving me the chipapla, or giving me the penalty, express penalty paper, just because I do not know that this is a one-way thing. If I do not know the law and I hit on someone, with a car, or I hit a building with a car, or a signpost with a car, it will not stop me from being arrested or impounding that car. So it's important that you understand or you know the law. And that's why you need to, if you lend money, if you're a financial institution, that's why it's important that you understand the law. And as I said earlier, almost every business needs to understand the law with which they're working with. Because somehow, somewhere, every business is governed by a particular law, is governed by a particular code of conduct, is governed by particular regulations. So it's not, today might be the time to start looking out for which of the laws govern you, which of the laws speak to you, which of the laws you can take advantage of to grow your business. It's very important. And most of the some businesses that if you don't know the law, you can actually hit a dead rock and you can collapse in a second. You can close shop because you do not know the law. For example, if you do not have a license, you're operating informally, you do not even know that the financial world or industry is regulated and it has some license that you have to actually have, and you go lend money, and somehow, somewhere, the client becomes naughty and he doesn't want to pay, and perhaps you gave them a chunk of money, you can easily get out of business. Because if you go to the courts of the law, they'll ask, do you have a license that licenses you to operate? And you say no. And what do they say? Unfortunately, you're not licensed to lend money. So you get stuck. You get stuck because you're not operating in the confines of the law. Perhaps because, not because you don't have the money, perhaps you even have a registered company, but you do not know what law is governing you. You do not know what the law requires. You do not know that you have to have a license at a particular point. You do not know that at a particular point, a client, when he comes, you don't just give out money. You perhaps have, the client has to sign something. There has to be a mutual agreement, which has to be confirmed by the paper that you do. All these you do not know. Because you do not know that the law requires that. It becomes unfortunate. So you can easily get out of the business. If you do not know the law, you can even be there and you do not know that you have to pay KCCA if you operate within Kampala. And you know what? You wake up one morning and they'll come and close your shop or close your business. The inconvenience and the penalties and the costs that you have to incur are usually huge. If you're not lucky enough, you can actually get out of business. So what am I telling you now? That it's important that you get to know the law that governs your industry, that governs your business, and then how you can exploit it or make use of it to guide you and guide your industry. So I particularly focus on money lending and the law as our today's topic. So money lending is one business where if you make a mistake, that mistake is usually very, very costly. So we have Money Lenders Act of 2016 and the Money Lending Regulations of 2018. Now the Act precedes the regulations. Why? Because the Act specifies the law, the do's and the don'ts. But the regulations are meant to guide the implementation of the Act, on how the Act is going to be implemented. That's why even on the regulations, there are even attachments on how the loan application form should look like, on how the loan agreement should look like, on how the different license, the license should look like, on how the different things you're meant to do and not to do. And this concerns not only the business that lends money, but also the client that gets money. So if you're not in business of lending money, you could even be a client. You might be a client to some of the money lending companies. You need to interest yourself as well. Because you're not knowing the law, you might land in the hands of another money lender who might be interested in your property, and you might end up losing the property just because you do not know that the law requires that you do not sign the transfer agreement of your land, even if you need the money. So if you're not aware, that will not stop you from losing your property just because you do not know that that's supposed to be, it's not supposed to be a requirement. It's not supposed to be a requirement. Someone writes a sale agreement, and in the heart of hearts, you know you're not selling this property. You default by one day, the guy has the property in his hands. How much did he give you? 50 million. How much is the property? 200 million. What is that? What is that you're doing to yourself? So as a client, it's also important that you interest yourself in understanding the law. Interest yourself in knowing the law that guides your industry. For example, now it is a requirement that your staff should be paid for NSSF as a requirement in the NSSF Act that was passed, assented to by the President. So you're not knowing that you're meant to pay the money for the staff does not mean that your NSSF will not reach out to you. If the salary that you're paying your staff is beyond a particular value, a particular amount, you're meant to pay as you earn. So you're not knowing the law might actually cause the government to bill you for the last 5 years that you've not been paying pay as you earn. And you know what? The bill might be huge enough to knock you out of business. Yet, if you had known the law, you'd have paid that money, you'd have been happy, and the staff would have been happy, and the government would have been happy. So what is stopping you from interesting yourself in understanding the law? Some of these documents are public documents. It is public knowledge. It's as much as just Googling and you have the document at your hand on Google. Now, on average, it's been researched that on average, each person spends at least 4 to 6 hours on social media. Which social media is perhaps Instagram, which social media is perhaps WhatsApp, which social media is perhaps watching those videos, which social media is perhaps watching statuses. Yes. And it would literally take you maybe about 30 minutes or 45 minutes to read the moneylenders regulations. 26 pages or 30 pages based on your speed or how fast you read or comprehend. Even if it took you 3 hours, this is something you should interest yourself in. Because, you've been spending time doing other things. You've been spending time even on social media. You've been spending time on some of the things that are not perhaps productive, but not as directly productive. Perhaps some are even not productive at all. So why wouldn't you interest yourself in understanding what is happening in your industry? On some of the things that are productive, that you can point at and you have the results that you can actually show for it. So now, this informs my spending the time here to speak to you. That whether you're lending money or you're a client that borrows money, you need to interest yourself in understanding the law that governs your industry. Now, for money lenders or for microfinance institutions, you have no excuse. You need to understand the law. Because one mistake like this might cost you all your business. Any mistake is a big, huge cost on you as an individual, as the MD, as the CEO, and as a business. And you see, our businesses are not our responsibility. Oh yes, they are our responsibility, but they're not for us. Now you can imagine if the restaurants cooked the food to eat them themselves. If you're giving out that service, it's not you who is the beneficiary of that service. Yes, you're benefiting by salary, or perhaps profits or interests or dividends, but you're not serving you alone. You're serving your clients, you're serving your customers, you're serving your employees. You do not know how many families that you're feeding by that business. So if it closes, perhaps you have an alternative. Perhaps you're working with the government. You have another job. But what are the people that you're actually employing? You might be supporting a lineage, a whole clan. You're supporting several guys that have other families, that have other dependents. So you need to look at the thing comprehensively. It's a chain of command. So it's to the interest of the government, it's the interest of us, the well-wishers, that you don't close shop. that your business thrives, because it's not supporting you alone. It's not serving you alone. It's serving a lineup of other people. And that's why I make time here every Friday from 5:30 to 6 p.m. to speak to you. That you put your house in order. Because if you don't put your house in order, the repercussions might actually get you out of business. And in getting out of business, it might not be you alone who is affected. Perhaps you could even have built your home, and you can actually afford to eat and drink and support your family. Perhaps you have a farm, or you have another job, or have other investments that you're doing. But what of the guys who are dependent on you? What of the clients that you're supporting, that you're serving? What of the people that you're directly employing? You need to look at a whole comprehensive picture. And then you can contextualize the impact that the closure of your business can have on the country and the community and the public. And that's why I usually emphasize that if you learn one or two things, go out there and implement. It's not a matter of learning, but how much of that learning have you implemented? And it's only then that you can actually realize the results that are meant to be realized from all this talk. That's the thing. It's a selfless service. You're benefiting from the business, but it's a selfless service. You're not serving you. Jonaki Holdings has money, but it is not lending to us alone. Though some of the staff are benefiting at a way lower rate, but then we have the public to serve. We have our clients that we are serving. So we are not serving us. Though we are directly benefiting with salaries, but there are several other people that we're serving that are benefiting of our services. You can imagine someone is stuck at the border post. He has a consignment. He's stuck. And he wants perhaps 50 million, and Jonaki Holdings supports the guy. In supporting that guy, you do not know how many people who are employed by that company are going to survive that day. They are going to get the salary. They are going to keep feeding. They are going to support other people, other dependents that they are supporting, just because of that one loan that we have issued. So that alone should be enough to make us aware, or to get us out of our comfort seats, to go and read about our industries, read about the law and what it is that it's speaking to our businesses. More so, money lending. Learn about it. Interest yourself. Policies that concern you, interest yourself. Know, fully comprehend your industry. Because at the end of the day, you're in that business not for you alone. Especially if you're looking at the future. Unless you're looking at that business as Meriarero, anytime I'm closing, or for me and my stomach. But also if you're looking at business growth, continuity. Boss, madam, you have to step up your game. You have to step up your game and interest yourself in understanding the industry, in understanding the law that governs your industry. And it's only then that you can actually thrive. Because outside the confines of the law, I guarantee you, you cannot thrive for long. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're going to get out of business. I'm not predicting doom, but it's a fact of the matter. So it's not a matter of when, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. For example, if you're not filing your returns, if you're not paying government its money, it's not a matter of if. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to bid for those big contracts, if you're going to engage to play with the big boys, if you're going to play with the big boys, definitely you'll have to organize your house. You'll have to be fully registered. You'll have to be filing returns. You'll have to be licensed. And if you're going to keep in the small businesses, in the corners, that alone is going to curtail your growth. That alone can even kick you out of business. That alone can actually make you get frustrated and say, you know what is this I'm doing? I'm tired of it. Let me just get out of it. That alone. So my talk today is that if you lend money, organize your house, understand the law, the confines of the law in which you're operating in, know what you mean to do and not to do. Whether you're a client or a lender, it's pertinent that you get to understand what law is governing you. What law is governing you. Because it has an implication on the loan agreements that you have. It has an implication on the loan applications that you have. It has an implication on how you operate your business. It has an implication on how you transact. It has an implication on how you wire that money to the clients. It has an implication. It has a huge implication in almost every aspect of your business. So it's pertinent. And the earlier the better. I don't know what you're still waiting for. The earlier the better. The earlier the better. There's nothing that you're waiting for. Just like someone said, the best time to have planted a tree was 5 years ago. And the best next time to plant again is now. So if you're in this business, or if you're a client that borrows, or the client that intends to borrow, it's important that you understand the law that governs your industry. Because that business you're in, that industry you're operating in, is not for you alone, but for the community you're serving, for the general public, and for the country, and for the entire world. You're serving humanity. So it's not about you. It's not about you as a person. It's not about you as a family. It's about the public that you're serving. It's about the community that you're serving. It's about the people that you're employing. That's why I implore you. Kindly, next time, understand the confines of the law that govern the business you're operating in, and then apply how that law applies to you. Organize your house, and that's when you're going to have business growth and continuity. And that's when you're going to grow. And that's when you're going to appreciate business. And that's when you're going to rhyme with the big boys. That's when you're going to shine with the big boys. And that's when business becomes interesting. But apart from that, it might be a waste of time. Sorry to say, but it most likely might be a waste of time. Because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And that can be turned around if you organize your house. So guys, that was on my heart today evening. And I hope you learn one or two things and organize your house. Now you understand that you cannot even transact one transaction if you're not a formally registered company. I did a talk on informality of the businesses and how you can formalize, the benefits of formalizing. That video is there on YouTube. You can check out John Nkandwanaho and you watch that video. Now you can formalize your business. I must say that I also started informal until someone had to push me. My mentor told me, you know what, I am meeting you today. You are paying some money, but my interest is not the money. It's about you transitioning from the formality to formality. And he gave me a condition that until I organize my house, we are not meeting again. And indeed, until I organized my house, we did not meet again. Until I told him, you know what, I've registered my company, I have an office now, a physical address, now we can meet again. So you need such people to be radical on you, to be harsh on you, to be hard on you. You know, we have a proverb in our tribe that whoever loves you can tell you something or do something that looks as if they hate you or they don't like you. But ultimately, I came to appreciate this guy. Why? Because he pushed me to the wall and I organized my house. And the growth has been significant. The growth that I've had in the last 3 years is not even anywhere close to the growth I'd had in 5 years. It's not anywhere close. It is way higher. So ask myself, if I'd met this guy a while ago, where would I be? I would be at a higher level. I would perhaps be employing more people. I'd be providing solutions to many businesses. I'd be financing other many businesses. But by doing a service to Jonaki Holdings Limited, I also did a service to the community, to the public, that I would be employing by now, to the business that I'd be supporting by now, to guys who would be wanting money and I'd be supporting now. Why? Because I took long to organize my house. So, go out there, organize your house, understand the law, understand the confines of the law that govern your industry, that govern your business. And that's only then they're going to grow, they're going to thrive, they're going to prosper, and they're going to have business continuity. So, I appreciate your time. You can always check out videos, especially in the money lending industry, and a few talks I've done on other businesses. You can check them out on YouTube, John Nkandwanaho. Subscribe, click on that bell, because when we post that video, you'll get notified that there's a video that has come on board, and then you can make time and watch it and enjoy it. More so, implement all the things that you actually, or some of the things that you learn from these videos that I broadcast every Friday. So thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to have you. I always look forward to having you guys around. Learn one or two things, implement, and I'll be the happiest person. I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of the Friday and the weekend. God bless you. God bless the works of your hands. Always check us out at www.jonakiholdings.com. Or you can visit our offices at Ntinda, Kisachi Mall, 3rd floor, office suite number 39. And you also can visit us at our branch. We opened another branch at Mulago Business Center. Yes, so we are here to serve you. God bless you and have a great evening. Cheers. Love you and blessings. Thank you.